Philip, then let's get the conversation cracking. We hope that you're able to activate the phone line in the course of the program. But Philip, let's start with the conversation on the three the new revenue bills that has been approved by the Parliament, waiting for the President to accent it into law. What the business community are saying that this is too much weight on their shoulders, and the government is just and only being selfish in the face where they are saying that we are not in normal times. Everybody is crying about economic conditions. Is this the right time to add more pressure on businesses? And is it not a way to cripple them?
Yeah, so Dennis, once again, let me say good morning to your audience, and also to, first of all, state that my understanding of these three revenue measures, revenue bills, or let me say acts now, is that they are actually, they were bills that were amended, or they were, let me say, acts that were amended. So they wouldn't be described more as new acts, actually. They were already in existence, and some adjustments were made to them. One thing that most of the times people immediately jump at when tax is introduced or in any form, especially the business community, mostly, of course, it's not a convenient thing for any business because when the tax is introduced, the impacts may affect probably your competitiveness as a company or as a product. It may affect your competitiveness. It may also affect even your cost of operation in so many ways, and it creates so much challenge, at least for every business institution. So it's not something that's quite palatable that any business will actually like. So these measures or these taxes have been introduced. Like I said, the one that affects I think the excise duty one, that's more of an expansionary tax measure. It doesn't come across as a new tax being introduced because I think the excise duty is already there, but it's been actually stretched to cover some other areas. In this case, the government was considering various forms of products that sometimes tend to be too alcoholic, and the challenges that alcohol also gives to us, and those also that contain a lot of tobacco and other issues also have also been considered. And then so yes, exactly. Just as a measure to discourage them. Even these latest fruit juices. These days I go to a lot of shops just to buy natural fruit juice. I don't know. The companies, I don't know whether they choose not to. But I'll come through and I won't find one natural without added sugar. I will not find one. I don't know if I'm the only person, but
a confit is
yes. So it depends on where you go to. So if you don't find such the real juice itself coming from proper fruits, definitely, and it's all about sugar, and the best you can always get is a concentrate. And these concentrates have been prepared in so many countries, and the way they do the preparation, you don't have an idea. You just go buy it and then come and then mix it up here and you push it on people, especially those of the children. Look, the last time I picked a bottle of drink meant for children, and when I tested it, even the acidic level of it alone, and I was like, oh, so this is what I give to my children. Right from there, I stopped. I'm not against any factory, but I think that we should, in much as we are also interested in making money, we should also be considering the health aspect. And one of the measures as a state, what you do is to find a way to create some form of deterrence. I mean, to some of these things.
So the government is creating a deterrence from.
Yeah, basically, when you see that the government is applying these excise duties on such products, it's another way of deterring people from.
If you want to deter people at the, at a cost of collapsing businesses, this is what the businesses are saying.
No, you see, the deterrence.
It could collapse them.
I'll come to see the aspect of collapsing business is not direct. You cannot say that simply because there is a tax component on your product.
Because
it's going to collapse. For example,
is going to overrun.
For example, if you take something like, I won't use the name of a brand directly, but if you take most of these alcoholic beverages, and what the government is saying is that, look, we don't have a problem if you want to enjoy yourself. I mean, take alcohol, but because it's alcoholic and the effect of alcohol, even on our hospitals today, and try and contribute something extra. And when these things, whenever these issues create some kind of problems on the society, it becomes a problem of government, and it affects our health facilities. You understand? So, to some extent, at least, an adjustment to deter people from abusing this kind of products, abusing, I use that word, from abusing this kind of product, is also in order. Not to say that the intention is, there is a clear understanding. And so on a product, if you look at the list of items that have been mentioned, clearly you understand what we are talking about.
But in a time like this, is this appropriate? In a time where the government, even the government itself, admits that things are hard. We, as a country, are faced with economic challenges, and even companies are crying for help. And then there's more taxes on them.
I think I explained that in a time like this when things are also hard, is it not also appropriate that we take measures to, reduce issues or challenges that can affect your health as a state, as a society? That's also a very good idea. A way of, bringing down the stress levels. Because look, Charlie, the level at which people consume alcohol sometimes must be checked. I'm not saying it's something that is excessively, the restriction in Ghana, but we abuse alcohol to a certain level. So what the government is saying is, and it's done everywhere in the world, these kind of duties are applied just to find ways of managing issues of society. It's also good. But I understand, I agree with you on the aspect of increments, which is always not good for businesses. You understand? But that is also not to say that products that are less expensive are the only product people buy. People sometimes even refuse to buy products when they are too cheap. But we are looking at, in this case, we are looking at abuse as the main focus here. So that if these slight increments are applied, it can check the abuse at a level, of these products.
People are at risk of losing jobs as a result of this.
Oh, you see, it is not definite, it is not clear. It's not a situation that immediately an increment is applied onto a product, then immediately the factory is going to collapse, and then people are losing jobs. I think when it comes so straight like that, it's not economically, feasible. It doesn't work that way. The fact that prices have been increased on a certain product does not mean those companies will collapse. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We all went to school, we did some economics, and we were told certain products that are mostly controlled by taste, mostly controlled by addiction, and these things we learned them in economics. Those products, if they are increased, prices of them are increased, mainly sometimes these things are done to adjust the lifestyles of people to this product. But it won't affect the product, its existence and its survival on the market, not necessarily. Now, I want to come to the issue really that you are talking about, you are concerned with.
Yeah.
Obviously, increasing prices of goods and services in every business, in every environment, there is also an element of danger in terms of its effect on the success of the products or the businesses. And this is where I think I will also personally even advise government. You see, like you mentioned also, much as these increments are applied also to somehow manage societal behavior, there is also an element of it that is also meant to respond to the challenges that we find ourselves in as a government.
In terms of raking in revenue.
Yes, exactly, in terms of raking in revenue, so that at least it will make it easier for us to be able to manage our debt issues and as a country to manage other developmental plans that we have.
The government is targeting about 4 billion to raise 4 billion annually.
Yeah, that's my understanding of the estimate done so far. That's my understanding. But the point I want to make is that, you see, now all this that government is doing, you see, if you study carefully, it looks like now we are talking about Ghanaian businesses. In a situation like this, I'm hearing in the media, in some of the areas, people talking about foreign investments that are now deciding to relocate to other areas. I always tell, and this is a personal advice I'm giving to my government, because they are foreign investments and there is a challenge in the country, the increment in taxes and geared towards solving the problems of the country. These foreigners who are interested in only their profit and not that of ours, the next opportunity they will find beyond your shores, they will move. And this, I'm speaking to my government, the government of this country. The next opportunity these foreigners will find, they will move. I am not saying also by this that foreigners should not be considered or should not be protected or their businesses should not be supported when they are also established in your country. But I think that we should pick a lot of lessons from these things. Because your local business that is crying today will still struggle with you in these difficult times. This same local business may have gone for a loan at almost about 40%. And with that loan, added to their cost of production, now there is a price increment that is coming as a result of this tax. So this local business makes a product, puts the cost together, and the price per unit compared to that of maybe one that is coming from outside, or compared to that of a foreign company that is not depending on the Ghanaian banks, and is not taking loan from the Ghanaian banks at 40%. At the end of the day, they will be able to now succeed and prepare the same in the same market. They will do the same product, sell it at a lower price than that of the local company. And then people who don't understand these things will sit back and accuse the local companies of inefficiencies. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. These are the issues that I believe government should really take note of. In difficult times, the people who will always be there for you will be your local businesses. So if you, as much as possible, create a situation, a condition, an environment that makes it easy for everybody to play on a level playing field, then at least your local businesses can survive. Because they have gone, like I indicated, they have gone for loans. No business in this world, you are not supposed to use your own personal money to do business. Business is always supposed to be, you have to apply, some facilities of the banks. It's normal in every field. And it's not that it's accepted. In fact, that is the normal order of business. If you are calculating your cost of capital, you look at the loan factor involved. Even if it's your own money, you must include it in your cost estimation. So that at the end of the day, when you do your cost, you know that this as element that may come to me, even as immediate income, is still something that is part of the cost of capital. So that when you price your product, it should be equivalent to those who are also within the same environment who are producing. But when you take advantage, if you take advantage because you are probably from China or you are from another country and then you brought your own dollars and you are doing your business here, you didn't use the banks. So you didn't go for the 40%. So when this 20% comes as addition to your cost, and it's affecting your product, the local manufacturer, the Chinese one or the outsider who does not use the Ghanaian banks will not suffer that. So when you all go to the market, you will find that the local business will be struggling.
So this tax, you agree, or I mean, are you suggesting that it will bring pressure on the local business? Because the Association of Ghana Industries, for instance,
the point I'm making is that government should take steps in matters like this to be sensitive to the challenges that local businesses will be going through just because of these things that are coming. Because these local businesses, they are the only people who manage to struggle with you.
And your concern is that the government has not consulted enough. And so if the government does not consult, and let me read a part and portions of the statement they released. It's contrary to government's ambitious revenue projection, which largely hinges on the performance of industry, we foresee a contraction in manufacturing and other related business activities. Businesses may have no option but to cut down on expenditure and production levels to stay within budget. With the foregoing, government risk missing its revenue target if industry has to contend with these new taxes. While we reckon that government needs revenue, fiscal prudence is crucial. We appreciate the urgent need of the IMF measures, but this should not be at the expense of growth in our industry sector. And this is where they call on government to dialogue. We call on government to engage the AGI on measures to incentivize our local industries to forestall the negative consequences of these policies. To this end, we welcome the opportunity to dialogue with government on how to save jobs and the strategic options to explore in cushioning our local industries. AGI wishes to assure its members of the association will continue to engage government on such fiscal policies to bring positive reviews in subsequent national budget statements. The issue of dialogue.
And so I'm coming. So I agree with AGI. It's not just the issue of dialogue issue. That's not the issue here. It's not about somebody. I'm coming. You see, it's not about somebody accusing somebody. AGI is raising genuine concerns. They've spoken about a lot of issues. I mean, that's going to likely to affect them. Dialogue is just what they are also looking for. So let's even not reduce it to matter of dialogue. Yes, it's okay. There is a need for dialogue, and I agree with them perfectly. But you see, I am just saying that government should listen to AGI, and government should also be sensitive to local businesses that are likely to suffer more than their competitors or their competitors who are foreigners in the same market. Government should be sensitive. Because you see, if you don't do that, I mean, that's all that I'm looking at. I'm not looking at it because what AGI is saying is perfectly right. Raising taxes is never a good thing for any business. Nobody likes it. But once you also live in a society, there will be challenges like that will come up. So nobody avoids it. You understand? What is likely to happen is, like the AGI was saying, issues of tax avoidance. And they may probably pursue this, not mainly because they want to appropriate the revenue to themselves, but mainly also because they may want to maintain their prices to stay competitive. Because if they should add these costs, they might have challenges. But you see, they'll be comfortable to add these costs and pass it on to the final consumer. If the cost per unit of their product compared to that of the foreigner who is also not using the Ghanaian banks, who is not incurring the number of costs that they also incur,